your idea and your solution should be as radical as the times that we are living now. So don't be afraid.
Marta, hello and welcome. Thank you for joining me today and for agreeing to spill your tea for us. Really appreciate it. I'm here today in my pretend living room in Glasgow, and I believe you are joining us from live from Mozambique. You were our Global Climate Award winner last year with your incredible solution. I use your idea, your solution, and you when I'm trying to explain to people what Social Shifters is all about. It's such a good example, and you are such a good example of a social shifter. So I talk about your idea quite a lot, but I'm sure it's much better for people to hear it directly from you. So in a nutshell, what is your idea, Biomec, and why did you start it?
Great, David. Really appreciate to be in your pretend living room. Couldn't look better. So basically, it all started when a good friend of mine, like 3 years ago, when I was in university, had a car accident, lost part of his leg, and had a really hard time to have access to prosthesis. So we kind of like had like the boom from the COVID, but after like some releases, we conducted some collecting at the beach where we basically would like collect a lot of plastic. But I keep asking myself, okay, what is the step 2 after spending like 1 or 2 hours in the beach during this Saturday? So I was asking, okay, what is the step 2 of this procedure? Where all this plastic go to? So I found out that there was like no really a second life. They will be just like put in the warehouse. So, but we had like the first situation of a friend without the prosthesis, and it was like our eureka moment, and realized, okay, we can transform all this plastic waste into prosthesis. We made the first prosthesis, had 4 prototypes, and it kind of like started like that.
So you were collecting plastic waste on the beach because it was a huge problem in your local community, presumably still is a huge problem. And you knew someone or people in need of prosthetic limbs, and because they're not particularly affordable. Yeah. But what skills did you have, and how did you get from A to B there? Like what was the process? Did you have those? Did you know how to manufacture plastics into products? I mean, how did that work?
Well, there's another good question, because actually I have like this background of industrial designer. So we actually would like build products and all solve problems in school. And this was kind of like the first opportunity we had as a group or as a team. I mean, a group or team, because it kind of like this idea came out with like four people who were like there collecting all this plastic, and we all have like this background, industrial designers, chemistry, engineering, and we kind of like did this crazy brainstorm at the beach and realized, okay, let's do it. We went to the university laboratory where like they allowed us to conduct these tests for like 3 months, and we kind of like did our mini pilot. And after this, we had a really loving story with Social Shifters, because while we were like conducting the pilot project with like only 4 prototypes, we were like scrolling down Facebook, and we saw this video where we basically you have a passion, you want to change the world using this passion, we want to be like part of this kind of like young wave of kind of like bring solutions, and I was like, yes, we want to do this. Just click it the link and went there, had a lot of courses during all this phase, and it was like kind of like started all this way. It's crazy when I think about it.
Well, that's really nice to hear. But and then you've kind of jumped onto my next question about the Global Innovation Challenge. But yeah, I just don't want to lose the kind of power of that, of what you did and are doing, which is really addressing a very, well, a global issue, but localized where you are in Mozambique with plastics washing up on the shores to affordable prosthetics. And I believe you're using 3D printing technology to do that. Is that right?
Yeah, sure. Actually, it's a very cool process because we kind of like have like these organizations or associations collecting all this plastic where we have like opportunity to kind of like take this plastic, kind of like clean up, make it go into kind of like a shredder process where we basically take big chunks of plastic and reduce to really small pieces. And after that, we got to extruder part where we get access to the little filament, and then it's used in the 3D printer to kind of like have the exactly format of the prosthesis. And the cool thing about this process is having like technology by your side, you are allowed to produce one prosthesis in 24 hours. In the conventional process, need to make like 2 weeks, and it's cool to have like this kind of like be able to reduce time, because it's still a huge problem here in Mozambique, not only for the time that it takes, long time that it takes, but the prices too. So you have like this country that unfortunately have like this recent past of war, and you have like a lot of amputees. So it's a huge problem, and you need to put that solution at the same level of the people's pocket. Because when you see who is the amputee, war veterans, people that have been like take part of in kind of like wars, and you have like the lined mine victims and all this kind of stuff. So you're trying to create a good solution, but at the same time put in the very affordable prices. So be able to reuse this material give us this opportunity to put this prosthesis in a very good price at the market, creating more accessibility and creating, of course, opportunity that so that people can have like more possibilities and productivity.
Yeah, I mean, that is just what makes it such a powerful concept. You know, you're working with an environmental issue, you're actually solving a big social issue as well, all within your community. So, and that is why one of the reasons why you won the Climate Awards last year. You've already answered this question, but the first tea to spill is around the Global Innovation Challenge and why you entered. I think you've explained kind of why, but it sounds, just to extend on that, it sounds like the timing was right. You were at the point for that. Well, can you explain why the timing was good, and what did the competition allow you to do?
Another good question, David, because when we first started, it was like a group of nerds. I say having like industrial designer background, chemistry, engineering, but it's crazy. But none of us did have like a business background. So it was an opportunity to kind of like learn about business, be able to connect to another young people doing the same thing, and most of all, of course, be able to receive like the fund, because it took us to a next level. I mean, we had like this idea, we were like conducting tests, but be able to conduct a larger pilot allowed us to kind of like know the deal and kind of like look forward to other products. We are running for like 2 years now, and we are operating in 3 countries. So it's like crazy to even think about it, because like 2 years ago, it was like just an idea, and be able to take all these steps, connect to other people, make network, have access to content about business, have like this like kind of like mentorship and financial support to go took us to the next level for sure.
Yeah, nice to hear. Nice to hear. And what was the most important part for you? I mean, obviously the cash award, I'm sure, is yeah, that's probably the obvious answer to that. But you mentioned a couple of other components, like being able to connect with other like-minded people in the community from different parts of the world. You mentioned the mentoring aspect, and yeah, what is it? The combination of these things that is powerful?
Say that is the combination of it, but like the courses, the form that they were at the platform allowed us to not only just take our time to kind of suck everything and trying to understand what is going on. Okay, we have this idea, let's transform this idea into something, and not just another project with good grades. I mean, it was like very cool. You have like step by step how to take your idea to an actual business. So it was like that was like the mind blow thing that kind of like made all this transformation, because we weren't like dealing with a science project. We were like dealing with the business, and kind of like took us to the next level, made all the difference for sure.
When you speak, it's really clear how passionate you are about what you do, and passionate, I think, about people, and passionate about the environment. What's given you that? Where has that come from? Where does your passion for this and what you do sort of originate?
Good. Another good question, because 2 weeks ago, I just met one of the users of the largest pilot that we conduct, and I guess I'm gonna share like a picture, and maybe you can like put in this moment so that people can understand, but be able to know that you are doing a difference in somebody's life. I mean, not just like the person, but kind of like create this awareness about how medical products can go green, how it's possible. So kind of like a little like shake in the lake, but be able to be part of this change. It's really good. Make us, I mean, as a team, feel well and have a strong why. It's not all about the money and all these kind of things that we can obtain in the process, but it's to make like the world a little bit better than we found. So this is like a click, this is the why, and I think it's like a very strong purpose. It's all about that.
And now that you're up and running and you're doing this, do you, and you're traveling around meeting a lot of people, do you feel part of a movement? Do you see this in other parts of the world? Is there a movement of young people or people that want to see these changes and are taking action?
Yes, of course. Couldn't be more positive about it. We have like different people. I mean, you have like opportunity to be in 1 minute with like a meeting with like different people, all of them creating all these like little shakes at the lake. So you kind of like see this shift or this like wave of shift, and it's good to see like young people being part of it. being part of not just like complaining and look at all problems, but willing to be part of a change or something bigger. So it's a really good feeling, and it looks like we all like with like the same mindset. I mean, we all want to create this and that, and you collect all these different experiences from different parts of the world, like with different people. So it's a really good experience, and it's good to see like that this is happening, not here in Mozambique, not only in Scotland, but in every little point of the globe right now.
And that's a good interlude to, the next question, which is really about our Social Shifters community and the Global Innovation Challenge participants or applicants this year. We're coming up to the deadline on the 9th of November, and we're trying to give applicants some inspiration, but also a little bit of advice. And who better to give some advice than somebody who has won one of the major award categories. And so I'm just wondering, what was it, do you think, that made your application stand out? The pitching is the next stage if when you get to the finals, but in the application stage, what do you think makes you, and you must have written a lot of applications since then, so what do you have a top tip or tips for at those applications?
Yes, sure. I would say like everyone knows the difference that they are doing or they are willing to do. So you kind of need to transmit that with the same passion, with the same enthusiasm. And it's all about like telling your story, telling your ideas, how you are changing the world, how you are changing a single life. So it's all about like being like simple and just like tell your story, what you're doing. It's all about that. And don't left this to the last time, just like put in there, like have your time, of course, put in there like your passion, what you're doing, what is the work. It's something that you do every day, you think about it every day. So just like write it down, what do you love to do. It's I think that was the thing that kind of like made it stand up a little bit.
I think it's really good advice. Yeah, storytelling is a big component of it, and being able to tell that story in a written format is very different to being able to stand up and speak about it. They're different skills, I guess, aren't they? Did you have to practice a lot? Did you spend a long time on the application, or did it come quite naturally to you?
That's a funny question, because I used to like repeat it a lot, because actually by that time my English wasn't like so good, so everybody in the house knew my pitch. You can ask them now, they will be able to tell you how many times I get like repeated to them and repeated to myself. But it's an opportunity to get questions too. So all these questions, when you like pitch to your friends, to your family, there is going to be like questions. So one of the questions might be one of the jury, for example. It will help you to understand all this process. Are you keeping it simple enough so that no somebody that don't know about it can like catch up and understand what you're saying? So just like keep repeating to different people, different public, get their feedback and see what you can like kind of like change, improve, add, or like remove during the process.
I think that's another really good piece of advice. So it's constantly kind of refining through talking with people about your concept, even at an early stage, but also as you're developing it and as you're growing. Just a lot of conversations and taking, asking for feedback. Is that something that you do?
Sure, for sure.
Yeah, all good advice. And our final question, Marta, is one piece of advice that you would give to this year's Global Innovation Challenge teams to improve their chances of success. So I think the storytelling piece is really important, and being able to communicate your passion and clearly communicate your story, clearly communicate your idea and the impact that you want to have. Aside from that, yeah, is there one really important thing you would say to this year's applicants to improve their application?
Yeah, sure. I would say like everything that is happening right now, it's radical. You look at the climate change and all this kind of thing, it's radical. All this transformation that we've been through, it's radical. So your idea and your solution should be as radical as the times that we are living now. So don't be afraid, put it out there. How do you plan to do it? It might like sound crazy, but just like share that story. It might be not so crazy as you think. So be radical about your ideas, what you are trying to put out there, what are the solutions that you propose, because we are living in a very radical time and we have like radical problems. So your solution should be as radical. So just go for it.
I love it. So radical solutions to radical times and radical problems.
Yeah.
Love it. I think that's a really good way to finish off. Marta, thank you for spilling your tea. It's been short, but it's been sweet, and I'm pretty certain that this is going to inspire and help support this year's participants. So thank you so much for joining me.
David. Thank you for the opportunity to spill my tea.
Marta, just to finish off, if people would like to find out more about you or about Biomec and the work that you're doing, where should they go?
Just go to our Facebook and Instagram page. Our page is called Biomec, BIOMSC. Just go there, find out about what we are doing. I'm pretty sure they're gonna put in the comments section.
We will. There'll be a little link down here somewhere, or maybe up here.
Great.
Thanks so much, Marta.
Appreciate that, David. Do, 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 do.